All right, welcome back everyone. In this video, we are going to start to take a look at some of the tools that you have in Revit. So we are going to be working mainly within our Modify tab. But before we get to the tools, we're just going to model a couple of elements here, really simple, easy ones, so that we have something to work with. So from the Architecture tab, I'm going to draw a wall. You'll notice here when I hover over this command, um, that there's two different highlight areas. So if I click the top one, it's just going to take me straight into the wall command. But when I click modify, it's going to end any command I'm in. That's typical throughout the entire program. But if I click on the drop down here, there's different options for the walls. We're going to work with the wall that's architectural. Whichever is the top option is what the default button is. You see how that symbol here matches that icon. So whenever there's a drop down, whatever one is on top is the default command if you only click on the top half of that symbol. So to start, I'm going to draw a couple of walls here so we have something to work with. To do that, move my cursor into my floor plan area here. Of note, you can tell here on the project browser that we are in the floor plan. You see how level 1 here is bold. So that's how I can tell from the project browser what view is active. So from that, I will click once to start my wall, and then I will drag it in the direction that I would like it to go. So you have a lot of variety and options here. And it's automatically giving you dimensions. So I will drag it, and I will click to place the other portion of that wall. You can also go at an angle here. All right, and that's just a first click to start and a second click to end. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this off here and close it. When the wall meets the other wall, it will end the walls, the chain of walls that we just created. So I will go ahead and now go back to modify. And I'm also going to add in a component. There's a couple that are preloaded in Revit. We will take a look at how to load in other families, but for now we'll just work with our default here. So we have a desk. So I'll just move in a couple of desks here. All right, so now let's take a look at our tools. So I'm going to go over to my Modify tab here. And in Modify, we will start with our Move command. So that is going to be our command right here. Now, of note, for all of these commands, or almost all of them, if you do not have an element selected before you start the command, you'll have an additional click. And so I'll show you how it goes for both of them. So let's say I want to move this desk. So if I select the desk first, then I start the move command. Revit already knows that I want to move this desk. So you can see how it kicks me into the command right away. And then to work with that command, my first click is going to be my click of displacement, or my endpoint is it showing you there. So where you're moving the element from. And then the second click is where you're going to move it to. So when you have that element selected before you start the command, you just have a 2-click process. So I will click here on the back left corner. And of note, it doesn't matter where you click to start this command. We'll do a couple different here so you can see some of the options. But I'll start back here on this back left corner. I drag my cursor the direction I want it to go. That says then 11'6". Whoop, had it. All right, and then I will click to place. So that just moved it 11'6". All right, if I want to move that back, I can start my move command again, click on that bottom left, and then move it back here. Sometimes you can kind of line it up to get a adjustment or off of a relative object. But again, that is a relative association. You don't always have to start from like a bottom left corner here. Even if I know I want to move this 10 feet, I can click up here, start the command, and then I have the assist here of the dimensions telling me 10 foot. All right. In addition, you can also use the move command. And then you can, instead of using the temporary dimension there, you can type in how far you want it to go. So I'll type in 6 foot, hit enter, and that will move it as well. You can also use the arrow keys to nudge items. This can be helpful for certain like FF&E items, but if it's anything that's a very precise dimension, then I encourage you to use the move command. So let's say like if I wanted to align this to the edge of this wall over here, I could nudge it all the way over. It's going to take a while, and also it's not going to get it clean and crisp, versus if I use that move command, first click to start, the second click, so I can pull it all the way over and know that I'm, whoops, not lining it up perfectly because I didn't get that corner right. There we go. There's the corner. Then pull it over. So I know that those lines are, that's lined up directly on that element. So if you use the move command without having an element selected first, like I mentioned, you'll have just an additional click. So if you start the move command, you'll see that nothing's highlighted. Revit doesn't know what you want to move yet. So if you do want to move something, you have to tell it what you want it to move, and then you have to hit enter. And then it will put you into that 2-click command for the start of the move to the end of the move. All right, so typically when I'm going to move something, I select the element first, but it is up to you. Just know that, that process, if you enter the command before you have an item selected, you have an additional step to do of telling Revit what you want to move, and then entering it before it'll put you into that 2-step process. And so I can move walls just as easily here and start to move elements around. All right, let's say that I would like to copy an element. So I'm going to copy this desk here. Again, with the majority of these commands up here, if you don't have the item selected first, you're going to have to select it and then enter in the command. I tend to always select my element first, just so it's eliminating that one extra click. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up during a workday. So let's say I want to copy this desk. I'll select it. I'll go hit my copy command. And right now up here on the top, there's a couple of items. Constrain just means it's going to limit the number of directions that you can move it in. So normally I like to have constrain turned off. And then multiple is just related to how many I would like to do. So if I want multiple copies, let's say I want to copy 5 of these, I'm going to want multiple on. For this one, I'll turn it off and then I'll do a demo with it on as well. So again, I'm going to 2-click command. I'm going to start in my bottom corner here, move it to the direction I want it to go, and then click to create a copy. 1 click, 2 click. I can also, similar to the move, if I start the copy, I know I want it to go 10 feet, I can type in a distance and it will copy it to that distance. If you do multiples, it's just going to keep going on and keep you in that command so that you can create as many as you would like. To exit or end a command at any point in time, go up here to your tabbing